Good evening and morning, friends, and afternoon. We are Freshly Grounded, the tag team who are in the podcast game. Big Man Sam.
And just the Phase.
Big Man Phase. Big Phase.
Faisal.
Yep.
Faisal.
Guys, look, we are back. Alhamdulillah, it is episode 90-something, almost episode 100. And today we discuss Sam's Umrah trip.
Alhamdulillah,
reflections on Sam's Umrah. That's what the entire episode was.
Yes.
The entirety of the episode was about Sam's Umrah
You tried
trip.
to slip in a few bits about Istanbul, but generally I took control and just spoke about Umrah.
Which
I think it's a great conversation. It's a great
amazing
subject.
Conversation.
Yeah.
I did go Istanbul.
Yeah, you did. How was that, by the way?
Don't worry about it, bro. No, I'm joking. Alhamdulillah, we had a really, really good time. It was amazing hearing about your Umrah trip. And like you said, you wanted to talk about it while it was fresh in your head. And that's amazing, bro, because I really wanted to get that out. Because naturally, bro, as time goes on, the memories fade.
Yeah,
and stuff,
of course.
So.
And emotion fades as well. That's kind of what I was. Yeah.
So it was amazing, guys. Really, really, really enjoyed this episode. You'll enjoy listening to it, and it will definitely make you miss Umrah, and it will make you want to go back there to Umrah and Hajj, which is coming up, which is great because there is a Hajj group that I want to let you guys know about.
Inshallah.
Qibla Tours, guys, is run by the same people who started Badr Academy. It's actually worth noting that they haven't actually paid us or anything to mention this about Qibla Tours, because I know we obviously do our ads and our sponsored mentions at the beginning of these episodes, but they have not paid us to say this. Qibla Tours genuinely, they haven't handed us money to say this. They're a Hajj tour, a Hajj group who I think is the cheapest Hajj group that I found online. They're reliable people who are upon the Quran and Sunnah. Sheikh Mahmoud has gone Hajj over 25 years, I think, in a row.
MashaAllah.
And they're going with Ustad Yahya Rabi. So Ustad Yahya, who's been on the podcast before, who actually will be on the podcast again very, very soon. Inshallah, he'll be going with them. So it's an opportunity to travel with him and to gain some knowledge and to hear his Quran. So guys, do check it out. The deposit is £1,000. The Hajj in total is about 4,600, around that. I think it's 4,600 and a bit more.
That's good value, isn't it?
It's very good for
you
Hajj.
confirmed to go?
No.
Okay.
I'm not confirmed to go. Yeah. But let's see, inshallah. I have intentions. But yeah, guys, check that out. Go to 2019hajj.com or go to qiblatours.com. Just fill out the little form at the bottom, and then basically brother Yusuf will give you a call, and then you can kind of arrange it with him or get some more information from him. But yeah, with that being said, let's get into the episode, because I'm sure everyone's really excited to hear about your Umrah.
Inshallah.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
Welcome to Freshly Grounded.
After that bit.
The brand new podcast.
And after that bit?
By best friends, Faisal and Sam.
Really?
What airline did you fly with?
Golf.
Sorry. Really? Alhamdulillah. How was it? Golf Air is quite like a prestige one, isn't it?
Yeah, are we podcasting?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah.
Golf? Is it? No, it was, alhamdulillah, it was fairly basic, but it was more than enough. It was suitable.
I thought Golf Air was like a bit prestige.
You can get like business class, first class there. That's probably more prestige, but just economy was very humble, but it was very nice, comfortable.
We've had the business class versus normal class discussion many times, right?
We have actually, yeah. We have actually, yeah.
I'm still like very much strong on my point. I met a brother recently from Australia, and he was like, "You should come down sometime." And I said, "Bro, the only chance of me coming down to Australia is if I can book a first class ticket." And I sound like the world's most arrogant human, but. Come on, man.
With that kind of difficult hardship, make it a little bit easier. I agree. I don't know. I think I always, obviously, as you know, ask for extra legroom. And alhamdulillah, I had extra legroom on the way out there. I thought I was getting on the way out the back, but because we had a 2-hour flight to Bahrain, so on the way back, I thought alhamdulillah, I had some nice extra legroom. But it was only a 2-hour flight. By the time we got into the 7-hour flight, there was no extra legroom. I was stuck, and I had two tiny little kids next to me. Alhamdulillah, I actually ended up moving just to an aisle seat just down, but it's still a little bit cramped. But the point is, if you get extra leg room and you say you've got someone nice behind you, it's almost next to you. Sorry, it's almost as good as that first class experience in the sense that you've got all that extra space and it's.
Oh, if you've got no one next to you.
If you've got no one next to you, yeah.
Bro, you know what? Every time I go on a flight, I always end up talking about you. And so obviously the other week. Me and my missus went to Turkey, and so we were on this flight, and you know Turkey's a very short journey.
4 hours is it?
It's classed as a short-term journey. I think anything under 5 hours. By
4 hours, isn't it?
It's
Istanbul.
Fine, yeah.
Well, you tell me.
Istanbul, it was about 3.5. It was
Fine.
fast because there was a tailwind,
Mashallah.
which I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I do. Nate taught me about that.
Oh, what is it?
Tailwind is, I think tailwind. Well, is if there's a flight has just happened before you, it's basically cut through the. He explained it very beautifully. Obviously, he used to work in an airport, which I didn't know.
Of course.
Basically, if you're following a flight that's in the same direction, it's basically, in non-technical terms, it's basically got through the atmosphere and had left you a very clear, smooth sailing, and it can actually save you up to 2 hours on a journey.
No way.
Yeah,
bro.
so we had that as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so apparently it can actually save you hours each way.
Yeah, because our journey, it said it was 4 hours and it ended up being 3 hours and 20 minutes, which is like
Alhamdulillah.
a good 40 minute or 35 minute.
Yeah.
But anyway, because we were on a short-term flight, I don't know how many times you've done like really short-term flights, but or with BA, but
Jeez.
no, but they give you like a really rubbish airplane.
Oh, really?
Every time, bro, I've flown with, because I like flying BA over obviously like EasyJet stuff. Obviously, sometimes you go with EasyJet.
I've never flown BA, to be honest.
Really, you have.
I honestly don't think I have.
Really?
If it's a short flight, give me EasyJet, give me Monarch.
No, but do you know why we didn't do it, bro? Because look, if I'm flying by myself, it's different. I've done Gatwick, etc. Me and you, every time we fly, we've flown Gatwick, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
But because I'm with my missus and we live so close to Heathrow, I want to make it easy for her. She prefers Heathrow and
Of
stuff.
course. Heathrow is a nice airport, man.
So
actually, we went to Dubai from Heathrow. Do you remember?
It's paid for.
It's true. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. But I think that
Heathrow is a beautiful
if that
airport,
wasn't a
isn't
sponsored, if that wasn't a sponsored trip, then we would probably flew Gatwick or
Yeah.
Luton.
Was Gatwick cheaper?
Yeah, bro.
I wouldn't know. I'm generally Luton or Heathrow.
Yeah. So anyway, we flew
Sometimes
British Airways,
Stansted.
and British Airways gave us an Airbus.
Airbus.
Which is like a really small airplane,
Okay.
and they're not like up to date and stuff. But alhamdulillah, it was fine. But it's like a coach, bro. Like so. Anyway, the topic of conversation came up because I said Sam would really suffer on this flight.
Yeah.
And she goes, why? I said, well, he's naturally so tall, Allahumma barik. And even because I was thinking about upgrading us on that flight, and the reason I was thinking about that, bro, is because it was a really small amount of money to upgrade, and I was wondering, why is it so small to
Upgrade to what?
To upgrade to like the next thing up, so which I thought was like first class something, but it was called something else.
Premium economy.
Right.
Yeah.
All it was, bro, is the exact same seat.
Just a little bit more space.
Bro, not even a little bit more.
Okay.
As in, the seat in between you guys is empty. That's it. So it's not even a nicer seat.
Right.
Right.
So is that the same? But you've got to the left of you or to the right of you empty.
No. So it's a three-man thing, and the middle seat is empty.
As in, is actually a gap there, or there's just they don't put anyone.
There's no
in
gap there. They don't put anyone.
They don't put
in
anyone there. Okay, fine. So you got a bit of space, extra bit of space.
But it's not.
But
worth
the leg room's
paying.
exactly the same.
Exactly. So you would have still suffered.
Right.
Yeah. So I said Sam would really struggle in this flight, even if he paid extra, which obviously doesn't make sense because. And then we started discussing like the last time we went on a flight in Dubai, and how that man basically said that if you want more legroom, then you have to pay for business class, which is £2,000 more.
Yeah. It was an unnecessary comment, man.
Yeah, it's such an unnecessary comment because you're asking someone because they're naturally tall that. Like that's how you're created. I understand if, for example, you wanted the legroom for something else, but you're naturally created tall, very tall, 6'6", alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
And sitting in regular seats is actually for an 8-hour flight is very difficult for you.
Yeah, I mean it's actually impossible on a lot of airlines. Like on an EasyJet flight, I can't actually. My legs don't fit into the chair. It's impossible for me to actually fit into it. And the budget airlines I generally can't fit, but alhamdulillah, generally I get to have. I was very merciful when I either get the extra leg room or maybe an aisle seat at worst. But when you're trying to tell an air stewardess that I don't fit into the seat, it's like I'm not joking. Like literally can't fit. But
so on the way back, was it testing the last?
It was testing, bro. It was testing. But it was. I think it was 7-hour flight, and it was It was an evening flight, and I had a window seat, and then there was a grandma looking after children, and then the mum and dad are almost just trying to go to sleep, and this grandma was left, the older lady was left with these kids, and they were misbehaving in that. And I actually was like politely turned to her and said, "Well, I'll go. Well, when the flight takes off, I'm going to move to that aisle seat because I could see in the distance there was an empty seat." And she literally like gave me an evil and left it as that. I thought, okay, fine.
But why were you saying that?
I was saying that so then they could have some more space because there was like
nice
kids.
of you.
Yeah, honestly.
Do you think that she thought you meant it like
she might have thought,
me?
"Can you move?" Like I was telling her. Maybe she miscommunication. Maybe she didn't understand. But then the dad who was sitting over here kind of cottoned on what was going on, and I was just trying to like say, "I'm going to go over there," And he was very, very like, grateful and saying thank you. But the woman,
okay.
even when she let me out, she was just like,
Really?
I'm trying to sort you out. So when I did move, I saw that the little boy lay down in two, and the other little boy sat there quietly, and the whole situation was better. So I moved away from it, but it would have been very difficult next to these kids because they didn't have enough space to kind of do what they need to do. And I just moved to the aisle seat, and it was fine. But I didn't get to sleep, which was a shame because it was a night flight. So it was just like one of those times when you travel just all night.
Sleeping pills?
I actually didn't have any. On the way out there, I did.
How dare you? Okay.
I know. On the
you
way
took
out
them
there,
all out there?
I only had one, and I took it on the way out there and slept, and it was nice. It was really, really nice. But on the way back, I had none. And I wasn't even about to try and go around Mecca looking for like a strong sleeping pill. I thought, I'm not even gonna do it to myself. So I braved it and got in, and just went to bed at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it'd been a long day.
I did I did my ritual before the flight. I went to the chemist and I got some sleeping pills, and I've got some diarrhea relief.
Blimey.
Even though I didn't have it. And my wife was like, why? She's like, going to give it. The reason I did that is the reason I did that.
Why did you even mention it on the podcast? You could have just said sleeping pills.
No, because it's important to mention that's my ritual, bro. Because
to go to Istanbul, you're not that likely of getting diarrhea, bro.
No, I didn't take it because I look. First of all, I just want to make it clear that I didn't have an upset stomach, and I knew I probably wouldn't have an upset stomach.
Okay.
But the point is that I'm scarred from our trip to Dubai. That what happened that day. Remember?
No.
When I went Subway in the airport. Bro.
Oh yeah. When you didn't listen to Big Papa Kane. And
yeah, but I thought Subway was safe.
No, clearly not after.
Yeah. Well, after what? Oh, after that flight?
No, yeah. I was going to say after what you just heard.
Yeah.
Can we say that? Or?
Yeah.
Subway, what, stopping being halal?
Oh, no, we can't say that. Wow.
Just rumours anyway. I did ask you if it was okay to say. You're the one who knows the rules. I don't know.
I thought you were like, can we say what we just said?
Nah, what you've just...
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, look, the main thing is that you're away for 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, I was away for 2 weeks, yeah.
How has that been away for 2 weeks? Because that's an extremely long time, especially for someone like you who, you're as much as alhamdulillah, your businesses are kind of able to run themselves now and they've expanded, you're still very much at the forefront. I think you enjoy being at the forefront of it, right?
Yeah, and I have to be, but do you know what, alhamdulillah, it went smooth, and I made quite a big effort to try and not be on my phone as well. It wasn't on social media or anything like that. Which at first I was uncomfortable with, but then it turned out to be a huge benefit. But obviously in the evenings and stuff, I'll jump on my phone and I would kind of like, obviously I've got multiple groups on WhatsApp which handle different, alhamdulillah, I've just got some very good managers that kind of was aware that I was away and just took it all and looked after it for me. But I had some real anxiety before leaving. Firstly, like obviously family as well. One of my tiny one had been acting up for like 2 weeks before. Wasn't going to sleep, and it was also causing my wife a lot of grief because she wasn't then sleeping, and I was kind of leaving. It almost felt like the wrong time because it was stressful at home and lots of things going on at work. But after I left, I made a lot of dua, and alhamdulillah, the dua was answered because the first night I went away, my little one started sleeping fine, and throughout the whole time, alhamdulillah, I think there was once or twice that he kind of was a bit of a nuisance, but he slept normally and went back to normal. And you know what, I kept on saying to my missus, like, I trust in Allah. I'm making this sacrifice to go and do Umrah, and I knew that he would make it easy. And alhamdulillah, he did make it easy. And also with work stuff, he, alhamdulillah, we made everything smooth. And I'm very grateful to my staff and my employees and my managers that realised that I was locking off, and they respected that and looked after everything. So made it easy, man. And alhamdulillah, I knew they would, because when you do something for the sake of Allah, he looks after your affairs. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and it's never going to be an easy decision to make to go to Umrah, because you do have to outweigh the things that are going on in your life. And I think whenever you're going away, whenever you're going away unexpectedly, it never seems like the right time.
It's true.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I mentioned I actually had another book. Sorry, I had another trip planned to somewhere, which had all the expenses being covered and ready.
That?
I'm not going to mention it. You just did it.
Yeah. So you had another trip planned.
I had another trip planned, and I won't go into it too much actually, because just in case they watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had something else planned, and I made a decision to do the other thing, which prevented me from doing that, and even that has all gone smoothly, and it didn't cause any upset. And I got an amazing email from these people as the day I was leaving Mecca. An amazing email, just and it was just like, wow, I made a decision based on what my Lord would expect from me. And like I said, he handles all affairs, man. Alhamdulillah. So it was a funny one. Obviously, ultimately in life we have times when we have to make decisions, and it's either A or B. And if you bring it back to, well, what would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expect from me? What would he want me to do? I think he make that decision is sometimes made quite easy. So when you do put him first, he will settle your affairs. He'll make all your dunya matters easier. But you have to prioritize him and prioritize what do you put first. Because for me it was just like, rah. I got the phone call about Umrah, and obviously it fell on obviously a really bad date for me. And this other trip was extremely important. But it's like A or B, afterlife or dunya. What do I want to pick? It took me, like I said, 30 seconds to make the decision.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you have to respect dunya in the sense that we've still when you've got things going on, you have to respect it. It's not like you just care to say, oh no. But when you make the right decision and you take these risks and these calculated risks, it works out okay. Alhamdulillah. Anyway.
How long ago did you go to Umrah last?
Bro, unfortunately, about 4.5 years, 5 years ago.
That was that time, wasn't it?
That was 3 months after I reverted. I went.
Okay.
And the sad thing is, bro, when I was there, when I just reverted, I was saying to myself, I'm going to come here every year, no doubt about it. And for one thing or another, it didn't work out. Not that I didn't want to, it just didn't work out. Obviously, the time when you went, I was like, yeah, I want to go, but then it fell just before my baby was born, so I couldn't leave my missus. And there was another opportunity that came and went. And obviously, you have to be invited. First and foremost, you have to be invited. It's not like, obviously, we can make intention that we want to go, but when Allah calls you to go, that's it. That's the invitation. But it made me feel like guilty in the sense that how amazing that place is and what it does for you and what a massive investment it is for you. Not going there for that many years made me feel like, why have I not put that as a priority of places to go?
Well, perhaps you not visiting in so long, and by the way, 4.5 years is not that long of a time, but perhaps...
For me, I've been Muslim for 5 years, and I made the intention that I'd go every year, which...
But perhaps you not visiting for that long was actually an advantage, and it allowed you to feel how you felt when you went back, because possibly, I know one brother I was speaking to at Iman Channel, and he goes yearly, or he has one of those visas where he can just go in and out, and he actually mentioned, and he goes with a group or something, and he mentioned that when you go that regularly, when you can go like every couple months, that feeling can actually decrease.
I can imagine. It's like, imagine if you lived there as well, you wouldn't have that same, as you walk into the haram, you wouldn't have that same.
See the guards there,
yeah,
bro.
I know.
Like,
it's true. It's true. You don't appreciate it as much, but that doesn't take away all the reward you get for being there and X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I mean, of course you appreciate it. And it's like anything, you take it for granted, don't you? And if you take something for granted, it's difficult. But I definitely appreciated being back there, and I just didn't feel like I deserved it. I felt like, no, we shouldn't have said I deserve to be here. Like, we as Muslims, we shouldn't, we should be very humble. And if we're invited, alhamdulillah, we're invited. And if we're not there, alhamdulillah. But I just felt like I felt extremely blessed. I felt it was very powerful, thinking that there's so many people out there that are dying to come here, and alhamdulillah, I was just sitting there, and it's a beautiful place to be, man.
One thing that Abdul Hakim reminded us of when we were there last year was, he said that you'll see some people here who have saved up their entire life savings to be here, and they've never seen even a Muslim that's not like them. So, for example, it could be, for example, someone in Indonesia, they've never seen a Muslim that's not Indonesian. So for them to see a white Muslim, even a Pakistani or a black Muslim or anything like that, anything other than specifically Indonesian, is amazing to them. And so he was mentioning, the people, your interactions with people be very different because you don't know their story.
Yeah, certainly. It was like there was times when me and a brother called Kamal, who's a revert brother, he actually took Shahada, the black brother, he took Shahada a month before coming out there. So me and him were just confidently walking around Medina, like in conversation, and all the brothers behind us are just like, obviously you got me, 6'6", tattoos, you got him, black brother with neck tattoos, etc. And there's the amount of people that as we walk by, you just stop and go like, just stop and stare. And obviously for me, I just assume that they haven't seen someone who looks like me before and whatever. But the amount of people just like what is going on? And it's just, you have to think back, okay, maybe they've not been exposed to it or whatever else. But a lot of people are just in utter shock, thinking, what are these two guys doing? Especially because we just walk around like like it's our home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not really paying attention to anything other than what the conversation we were having, and very humbly but very confidently just walking around as normal.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Well, just like you guys are Muslim, and just like any other Muslim, you have the same rights as any other Muslim would have in that city. So it's good that you don't feel like you're being a guest in somebody else's city
Sure.
like that.
And I the first time I was there, I was actually it affected my confidence, because I had so many people coming up to me and telling me about tattoos are haram and staring at me, and because I'd been Muslim for such a short amount of time, I wasn't fully confident in myself being a Muslim in that sense. And I even went to the point of like, I mean, I actually brought, you know, like sisters can wear black gloves. I actually ended up buying gloves to cover my hands because I was fed up with people like going with my tattoos. Always had my hood up on my throbe so you couldn't see my always had like socks pulled up so you couldn't see my tattoos on my legs.
I can imagine it would make you like.
I was just like, you know what? I was kind of like fed up with having to almost explain. I either say Qibla Islam before Islam or Jahiliyyah or whatever. Just like, to be honest, obviously, if someone comes up and tries to advise me with wisdom, I'll simply say I'm a revert, like leave it as that. But really, I haven't got much time to entertain it anymore because it's exhausting, bruv, explaining yourself to people. Like I know for a fact that if we see someone doing evil, we stop it, but just try and just have a little bit of common sense and going up to like a Muslim that you can see that I'm a white guy, and you can see that, you know, that everyone knows there's not that many white Muslims in the world. Everyone knows that, you know. So just, I think using wisdom, you don't go up to someone and just try and like, I had someone like hitting my neck like in Mecca the first time I was there. And I had people come up to me this time, but not that I do it in a more abrupt way. I'm just like, don't really entertain it too much.
Well, Abdul Hakim was quite good with that kind of stuff, because there's a few different things that obviously different Muslims have different they believe in kind of different things, right? And so there's some things that are really cultural that are not actually from the Quran and Sunnah, and you see that a lot when you go to Umrah. And so there was once times where we would do something that, for example, you know, inshallah, it's from the Quran and Sunnah, but perhaps in certain cultures it's seen a bit weird. And so I remember once or twice there will be something like perhaps like the way like if someone's wearing shoes or socks or something, right? And so someone actually said something to us, and they like kind of like shouted at me for like.
What were you doing?
I think I was wearing shoes doing tawaf. I can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something, but I can't remember. And so I spoke to Abdul Hakim, like, yo, this guy's trying to chat to me or what? Because I didn't know. Couldn't 100%. And you know what Abdul Hakim's response to everyone, bro? He was like, Barakallahu feek, Sheikh, Jazakallahu khair, Sheikh, Jazakallahu khair, Sheikh. And he would like thank them. He would like overpower their shouting with thank you. They would get annoyed and leave.
Yeah, he would do that.
Yeah.
I can imagine him doing that.
Yeah, so he's good like that.
Yeah, mashallah.
He's like small and mighty.
He's a powerful man, mashallah. He's a powerful man.
But bro, so how was it going with the group that you went with? In that the group seemed from the outside very young, very vibrant and loud, and you're quite you're a lot older and maturer. Was that how was that?
Okay, fine. So I was aware of what the group was like. I kind of had an idea what the group might be like anyway. And then there was a group chat, and I ended up muting it at the beginning because I could see the kind of, the conversation was fine, but you could tell by the conversation it was a lot of young brothers and that. So I muted it, didn't go on it at all. Until when I was at the airport meeting Nate, that's the first time I really went through the group, and then people were like, where I'm meeting here, and then that's when everyone sort of came together. Because not everyone knew each other anyway. So that was the first time I kind of got into the group. And then we met up, and I was looking around, and alhamdulillah, I was thinking, whatever it is, I'm here for myself. I'm not here for anyone. I felt like obviously I know Nate very well, but I went there by myself. I travelled there by myself, and the whole thing felt like an individual journey anyway. So not that I was worried when I saw the group, but I was it's what I expected. But my first thoughts of the group, not that I was passing judgment, just making obviously an observation. But by the last night when we were all in the room, which I think you saw some of the videos for, it was just a totally different feeling on what the group was like. And yes, it was a lot of young brothers, a lot of brothers from the street, a lot of brothers who are involved in a lot of haram and whatever. But ultimately, every single person there was there to better themselves and to get closer to Allah and learn more about their religion. And there was a few more senior guys in the group. So we were in a red team, and our group leader, Gulaid, who is just, mashallah, just a fantastic brother. He was our group leader, and we had the smallest group, and we were the older brothers, basically. And there were some brothers who were older than me. So we were kind of like, it was nice that older brothers were put together. And And it was good. It was good. It had a mix of, I had some probably young brothers that are kind of like, alhamdulillah, a lot of freshly grounded viewers were in the...
Really?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So a lot of young brothers that I was kind of entertaining with, that kind of used to, like, in my workplace and whatever, that kind of young, like, a lot of energy. There was a big mixture, and then you had slightly more older brothers. There's Solo London was there, Solomon. Yeah. So there was a mixture of people there. So there's a lot of energy, man. And then in our group, in fact, one thing I noticed.
I just remembered the subway thing.
The subway thing. So I noticed that, so Kamal, who I mentioned before, was in our group, and I clocked him straight away, because in the airport I didn't think he was in our group at all, because he came through shouting on the phone, like laughing, all this stuff, and I clocked him, and then I realised he was with the group. I was like, cool. And then he came up to us and he goes, I've just found out that I'm sharing a room with you. And I was with Nate at the time. He goes, I just found out I'm sharing a room with you. I thought I'd come and introduce myself. We're chatting and that. He's, alhamdulillah, obviously accepted Islam a month before. He's from Brixton. Had a bit of, he's a lot of power, a lot of personality there. I was thinking, cool, this could go one or two ways. Obviously, it had a lot of character. But he was, bruv, alhamdulillah, he was wicked, man. I got very close to him. And it was beautiful, like, because he's a brand new Muslim, like, and he knew, obviously he had knowledge in Islam, but in terms of ibadah and bits and pieces, he was brand new. So being able to teach him small little things and help him, with wudu and small little rulings and teaching him about intention, small little bits and pieces, it was very rewarding, because I was like, right, it's good. This is a good time for me to try and invest and get a little residual from this brother. So no, alhamdulillah, it was lovely to have that freshness, because it reminded me when I first became Muslim, I was so like eager to learn everything and so passionate, and everything was so deep to him, and he was, because the whole thing's so new to him, everything was so deep, and he was talking about his story, he was talking about, as he talks about his story, he's figured out bits of guidance that I'd had given him here, there and everywhere. It reminded me of me. And then we had another brother, freshly grounded viewer, Abdullahi, lives in Canada. Mashallah, he was a bit younger, yeah. So, but he ended up actually getting taken out of our room. We had another brother who got replaced, called Hashim. We called him Drip, and he was some Somalian brother as well. And again, that was slightly testing in small ways, because it's a brother from a certain background, and he moved rooms for X, Y, and Z, and then we kind of helped him and mentored him, and we were like his big brother for a bit. And he was sometimes hard work, sometimes difficult to get out of bed. But it was all part of the test, all part of the experience. So I knew the whole thing wasn't going to be smooth sailing and completely easy, and it relatively was quite easy. But there's small little tests along the way. And do you know what? When you're traveling with people and you're in, your space, your personal space is, you share it with people, and you've got to share a bathroom and stuff. It can be testing, and there were moments when it was testing. But alhamdulillah, like I said, I was there just for me to get reward and renew my intentions and get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it was kind of like I could put up with it, but yeah, it's tough. Always tough. Sharing a room with someone by itself, as you know, I've spoken to you about before, I find that
many
testing.
times.
So when first in Medina, it was beautiful, because we had alhamdulillah, we were upgraded to a suite. So me and Nate had our own room. Then there was a dining room area. Then they had another room. That was easier. And then in Mecca, we had, alhamdulillah, a beautiful hotel, but it was one room, 4 single beds lined up next to each other, and it was like rah. So we, as I do, moved the beds around. So I pushed my bed right into the window. So my view from the window was the Haram.
Oh,
I could see that was amazing. I actually put the mattress on the floor. Just try to split it up, because when you've got 4 adults sleeping next to each other, you don't know each other that well. It's too close knit for me.
Of course, man. Of course.
So we broke it all up, and that was slightly more testing. Also, like, every morning, obviously, you're staying up generally till 8 a.m. You go to the masjid at about 3:30.
Do you sleep between like Isha and?
No, that's the thing. We did it a few times. So it's not really worth it, bruv, because like you have like an hour or two, and you just feel more tired for it. So we was generally staying up until 3:30. We'd meet in the lobby. We would then go to the masjid, tahajjud, study, learn. Then maybe leave at just after Fajr, or leave at sunrise, which was 7 a.m. Go back to the hotel, have some breakfast, relax. 8 a.m, 8:30, then you go to bed.
After breakfast?
After breakfast.
Wow.
So it's a long old day, yeah?
It's like your days just completely flipped around.
Completely.
Yeah.
And then you sleep, and then that's the time when, for me anyway, I'll speak for myself, like that's when I probably would have wanted to have a bigger sleep. But every morning, without fail, there was a loud phone call blaring off in the room, or sometimes in the bathroom, which is still in the room. And just so anyone's listening, if you're in a hotel room in the bathroom and you're on the phone, you can probably hear it just as well as you're in the room. So there's a
I
lot
can
of
imagine
like.
there was a lot of testing times. Obviously, with, like you said, 4 adults sharing a room.
Yeah.
It's not going to be smooth sailing.
So I would have liked to sleep more,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you're there for ibadah. So, but waking up, maybe that was a blessing in disguise. Waking up meant that we got there for Dhuhr and Asr and whatever. When a lot of brothers I know were sleeping until right up until Asr, and we were there. I'm not saying they're wasting the day, but it was nice to have that. We were up a lot.
An opportunity like that, you have got to take it, with both hands, and if it means having luxury sleep for the sake of those 2
For sure.
weeks, obviously, it seems worth it, man. The breakfast looked really nice. I saw it on a few brothers' snaps.
Medina,
I think maybe Mecca.
I'm not gonna. This is not about complaining, but I've really liked the last time we were in Medina. Really struggled to get food, and really struggled this time to get food.
Yeah, in Medina, it's like
It's a myth, innit?
Is that Hardee's in the KFC?
You got Hardee's and KFC,
and then round the corner there's that Domino's.
Yeah,
and
I didn't even see the
Starbucks.
Domino's.
Oh, yeah,
That's it.
Yeah,
Like,
the
you've
Domino's
got-
is like hidden.
Realistically, it's Hardee's is like your best bet,
Yeah.
and it's a shame because it's like
And
ultimately
everyone's queuing for it, right?
Yeah, and it's burger and chips. So like you have it like the
Yeah.
first night, second night, and you're thinking I actually need something proper because I'm feeling a bit off key.
Mm.
So Medina struggled, and even the breakfast at Medina, wasn't as good as Mecca. But when we got to Mecca, the breakfast there was really nice. Alhamdulillah. I think you just appreciate fresh fruit, fresh vegetables.
Yeah.
You don't see it in Medina, and then in Mecca it's a bit better. Obviously not there for the food, but at the same time, food is a massive part of our well-being, and you want to make sure you're eating correctly.
Of course.
And then, alhamdulillah, Mecca, there's things like Starbucks and stuff, so getting like a proper nice iced coffee and stuff. But then again, you're paying premium prices. And I don't know about you, when I'm there, you don't want to spend a huge amount day in, day out on food and drink. So I remember going to Starbucks, and it's like, even though it's still probably equal to what it would be in London, but it feels like you're paying a fortune. But that was like my little luxury, having a nice like iced coffee. And food, alhamdulillah, we found a couple of little spots in Mecca. But ultimately, like, you're eating so much rubbish. You are,
yeah.
And it's just
Even
like, and
the
you got to
food
remember
that's
that has an effect on everything. So you want to try and balance it and have like your fruit and veg and stuff. But it's tough over there to.
When I went to Istanbul around the same time, there's so much fruit there, and every shop does fresh fruit juice. And so, bro, I was having juice maybe like 2 or 3 times a day, fresh juice, and bro, the pricing of everything is so cheap. Here, I think about a week before we went out there, me and my missus went to Portobello Juice Bar, and we spent, I think it was like £15, bro.
The place that we went that time.
Yeah. We went. Do you remember that place clearly or not?
I think I've got.
You got a picture, maybe. Yeah. So what happened, bro, is we went to Portobello Juice Bar, and we spent like £15 on just a juice each. Altogether, it was like 15 quid. And in Turkey, first of all, the juices are so much nicer because the fruit is so much more fresh, and you're spending like £1.50 per juice or something crazy, bro. And I was mentioning when I was speaking to Abdul Hakim that the food generally is very cheap. Yeah. So when we went to that Salt Bay restaurant, and we had like mains, we had desserts, we had tea, everything, and that was like the most expensive restaurant that we went to. It was like quite upper class, I'd say.
Yeah, it is.
And we spent 30 quid. Total.
Really? That's good value, isn't it?
Generally, our food bill was kind of £10-15, and we didn't go to anything like dead, but we went to nice restaurants when it was like £10-15.
Alhamdulillah.
So it was nice. Alhamdulillah.
You have some good food.
Oh, but we had.
I really enjoyed the food.
But the food in Istanbul was amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and
did
you get a nice variety.
Do you ever have the clay pot that gets cracked and the chicken comes out?
No, but
Did you see that?
someone next to me had that. Yeah,
It's very nice.
And that looked amazing.
Very nice.
That was in there was a place that's really popular out there. Maybe it's called Hafiz Mustafa or something. No, not Hafiz Mustafa. Yeah, Hafiz Mustafa. They had that. Someone had that in there. But yeah, amazing. The food was the best part of Istanbul, man.
I agree. It's wicked food, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So obviously there's a lot to talk about with regards to like your trip and Umrah and stuff, but I want to kind of like find out. I want to know a bit more about. We'll go into this trip more, but I want to know like about when you came back. Like, did you genuinely feel like a massive boost in your iman and stuff when you came back?
When I was there, yes, and obviously when I've come back, yes. But I was just catching up with Omar and just saying this thing that I think he said that you experienced the same thing. So you're in a place of purity. All you're focusing on thinking about is ibadah, and my dunya was locked off, so my phone was to one side, and I'm reading, I'm studying, I'm praying in the masjid 5 times a day, and getting up at the tahajjud, and you're doing a lot. So you feel like naturally you feel absolutely incredible, and wallahi, it's the best I've ever felt in my life. This trip, yeah, it really was the best that I ever felt. I just had such an incredible like natural high just running through me, like it was amazing, bruv. So feeling amazing. All you're doing, and the other thing is you're so comfortable when you're in these countries because you're just wearing throbe, little scarf on your head, and flip flops, and that's it, and that's just how you're living your life in the basic way. You're just feeling comfortable and you're praying, and it's just beautiful. So I was in a very, very good state. Then you come back. I went to Bahrain Airport, and then that's an airport where there's loads of different
Oh, bro, the minute
Flights, yeah.
bro, we had a similar experience. Bro,
In Jordan, you were saying?
Yeah, we got off at Jordan. We had a stop off at Jordan, and you're right. Not even when you hit the UK, the minute you hit that stopover place.
Yeah. So I was. But the thing is, alhamdulillah, because of the time, it wasn't that busy. But I was conscious of a lot of other people. More like I see a lot more white people basically dressed like it smarter and like they've just come back from a holiday. So I was a bit more conscious of it. And then you've got more duty free and more like luxury brands and stuff. So kind of like looking at a few bits, and before you know it, you're kind of you're thinking more dunya. Didn't purchase nothing, but just looking. I was with a brother who's interested in buying watch, so I was looking at some watches. It was interesting. So looking, and then I'm conscious that there's more tourists around. But yeah, it is what it is. And then even to the point where you see a woman who's not wearing hijab, and you're like, rah, you're almost like,
yeah, because you're not
used to it, because you've been somewhere where you just don't. First, you're not even really conscious of the women in Saudi Arabia. There's obviously a lot there, but you're not. It's not that it's a focus when you're here, but it's irrelevant. Because I think maybe because they're so covered up, you're just not even aware of it, and it just doesn't. I don't know. You just don't notice it as much. Then I see that more, and it's almost like when you see a. In fact, even at Mecca, I see it's almost like people have done their Umrah and then they've taken their hijab off and they're going back. So I see it a few times, and it's like you feel uncomfortable. You feel like I shouldn't look, even though we know we shouldn't look anyway. But let's get back to the UK now. At Heathrow, waiting for bags, and you just see bare people come back from all sorts of different trips, and it hits you, and it's like, rah, it hits you, and then you just realise that purity from you is leaving slightly. You see kind of like loads of stuff, and then I'm on my email and I'm just catching up with all the stuff, and it's just like rah, like. I can't express the two differences. It's just obviously this is the reality. This is dunya. This is everyday life. But coming from just a whole other mindset to that, and then you almost I just don't want to like accept it. I don't want to I want to just stay how I feel. Slowly but surely, everything starts kind of. Obviously, Iman is still high, but you're just getting back into the UK life. And yeah, so it made me, bruv, I won't lie, I've been really depressed this week, and I'm very, very happy to be back. It's so lovely to be with my family, and I'm back to work and seeing everyone beautiful, but I just feel sad inside, man, because it's just when you get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're in Makkah, you're in Medina, all you're really thinking about is hereafter, and all you're thinking about is meeting your Lord, man. And you come back and it's just like your priorities do change, because that's just the reality. We have to can't carry on living in Mecca mode where I'm wearing a throbe and getting up at 3 a.m, walking down to the mosque and back. It's just the reality comes in. So it's been depressing, but it's just reminded me that I need to make going to Umrah at least a yearly ritual, because what it does for you, it's like I said to Omar, man, it's like having the best shower of your life. Say you're really, really dirty. Say you played football or rugby or whatever, and you've gone for a long run and you're covered in mud, you smell of sweat, you feel rubbish. You have a big, long, warm shower, cover yourself in your favourite cologne and come out, and how amazing you feel. Brush your teeth, you feel amazing. It's like an extreme version of that, where it's just had like a massive shower, the best like shower ever. That's how it feels. And then you just come back, and in dunya, you kind of end up picking those bits of dirt up again, and you're suddenly just getting a little bit dirty again. You're thinking, rah. I'm just like, you know what I mean? And so, alhamdulillah, it was a beautiful experience, and it's just getting back to reality. It's just, I'm still fresh from it, man. I'm still tired.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of getting back into it. So I'll just feel, just getting back to it, man. Just like getting back to reality, bruv. And it's just a bit sad.
I remember coming back and realizing only after I had come back how much I miss it. Whereas when you're in it, you do value it, but you can never value it as much as when you're not there.
Yeah, of course.
And I started, when I came back, I started watching videos of the prayers that are happening in Mecca.
Yeah.
And
I sent you the video.
Yeah, and I saw that. And as soon as I saw, that's what I used to. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's what I used to do. And there was a certain sheikh who would recite there, who I didn't think anything of it. And then when I came back, I just like missed their voices, and I would like listen to their voices. So yeah, I
remember hearing certain reciters, and you think, rah, I listen to that when I go to sleep. It's almost like, I can compare it to. I said it to the brother. I said it's like back in the day seeing one of your favorite MCs, and you're so familiar with the sound of the voice, and you relate it to so many, like, I can relate it to the same thing in Mecca, hearing some of the most beautiful recitations that I've heard many times as I go to sleep. I've pressed play and listened to that, and you're there live, and you're seeing it live. It's just, you can't beat it, man. It's beautiful. It's just tranquil. It's just, yeah, it's a lovely feeling, bro.
Yeah, man. You can't test it.
You can't test it.
Yeah.
Or beat it.
If you can't test it or beat it.
Would you say the expression "you can't test it" is relevant, or would you still refute that and say you can't beat it?
No. I agree that you can't test it. It was just that day on the podcast. It was funny because
Why was it funny?
I can't remember what you said.
I just said you can't test it, and you're like, "What? I mean, you can't beat it." I said, "No, you can't test it." And you,
I was just playing with you.
You're mocking me.
Yeah, I was just playing with you, just being friends, just friendship being friendship, you know. Okay, so obviously when you go out there as well, I also found that we did what you guys did. We went to Medina first and then Mecca after, and you really appreciate Medina after you've left it, right?
Yeah.
Because there is a completely different,
totally different
aura
place
in Medina.
Yeah.
And then when you say that to people, they're like, of course, like it's a prophet, it's the city of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When you guys were doing the burial stuff, was that in Medina?
That's Medina.
So what happened with that? Because I just saw a video of you guys carrying bodies into the graveyard.
That's correct. So first and foremost, the first bit of the question was the difference between Mecca and Medina. When I went there last time, I did Mecca first, then Medina.
I see.
And I would probably say that is, for me, the better way of doing it, purely because Mecca is very, very intense, and then Medina is very, very relaxing. So it's almost like you do the intense bit, then you relax afterwards. But ultimately, it worked very well because obviously there are a lot of brothers who would just come to the deen. A lot of brothers who weren't even doing salah and stuff. So it was a nice way to break everyone in Medina. It was a softer way of getting into it.
And also, I suppose you get to stop at the miqat on the way to Mecca if you go to Medina. I suppose,
yeah. Which I know you should do it. You should do it from that way anyway. But either way is great. But I think it's nice to do that intensity and then relax afterwards because it's. To be honest, and also what I will say is, last time I said I preferred Medina to Mecca, I actually prefer Mecca to Medina, like hands down. I think that energy in Mecca is amazing, and I think, do you know what? Obviously, it doesn't really matter where you stay, but if you've got somewhere comfortable that you're staying, which I think does make a difference.
Yeah, of course, man.
I'll say like big.
Me and you are very similar in that regard.
Of course, because ultimately it's doing so much. When you can actually retreat and be somewhere, you want it to be fairly comfortable. So I'll say shout out 5-star Umrah because everywhere they booked was absolutely incredible, and it was 5-star to the point where I said it should be renamed as 7-star Umrah because just amazing place to stay. But I much prefer the energy in Mecca. That's what I realised. I prefer that. And I think obviously it's the Kaaba, and it's just I prefer Mecca as a place for sure. Although Medina is obviously very virtuous and it's beautiful, and it's very relaxing and very tranquil. But I think Mecca, if I could just go to one or the other, obviously not thinking about the Umrah part, I prefer being in Mecca. I think that I think I like that energy. What was the second bit of the question?
The janazah and stuff.
Janazah. So, okay, cool. So in Medina, we obviously there's a janazah after every single salah, and on one of the last mornings we were there, we were like, we're gonna go and bury a body in the graveyard, and we did. And one of the coffins, there was 10 coffins, and the one that majority of us helped carry, I stayed there right to the end, and it turns out it was a sister. So when the body was getting buried, there was a green cloth over the top of the grave for privacy. But I was still there, and obviously you can't see down at this point, but you can see the body getting put down, and the green cloth would go across, and then they build the necessary structure around the body,
Sure.
And then almost finished, and then out of nowhere another green cloth appeared, and Bismillah, Bismillah.
Was it another body?
It was a baby.
Subhanallah.
So the green cloth was removed and it was a small white cloth, and then it was a mother and a baby, and for me it hit me really hard, bruv, because obviously I've recently had a baby, and it just brought me back to, yes, we're in a graveyard, yes, we're here, we're worshipping, we're aware of death the whole time, but it really, when you're seeing these bodies and you're seeing them laid to rest and you're seeing them go in a place that you are definitely going, it hit me. Because it took me back to thinking about my missus and just the blessing that even childbirth and how so many women do lose their firstly their babies and their own selves to childbirth, and seeing that, and I don't know for a fact, I assume because the baby was so small that it was childbirth, that this sister had passed away. So it hit me in the sense it felt quite personal to me. So then I moved away. I put some, alhamdulillah, Sunnah, put 3 bits of dirt in, moved away, feeling emotional, and then I look around and you just got this huge graveyard, bruv. And as we know, like the Muslim graveyard is not a place of loads of flowers and huge headstones and in loving memory. It's very, very, very basic. and it goes on for what seems forever. Like it's such a huge. I'm sure you've been there. It's just a huge, vast land, very, very basic graves, and it's just like, and I know in Medina, so many people get buried that they carry on building on top, and they on top. So ultimately, it's just a place that loads and loads of bodies get put, and ultimately, people remember these people for amount of time that they're around, and then the memories fade, and then they might die themselves. So all these people that have been buried there, who have just been here from, time before us, just forgotten about, but very much still there, and very much, these people are either being in a place of rest, in a beautiful place of rest, or vice versa. So it was just a massive reminder, man, and I'm very grateful for that reminder in the graveyard, because I think it's very, very healthy to be reminded of death, and when you can, that's obviously as Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would advise us to go to the graveyards, because it would humble us and it would remind us of death, and it's easy to say that and think that, but when you do truly have that reminder of death, the one that hits you, when you really think, I am going to die and I am going to be put in the grave, and that is my first place of the hereafter, and I'm going to find out, how I've done in this test. So it's petrifying, bruv. It's very, very scary, man. And as Muslims, it's important for us to reflect on death, but it's also it's important for us to really understand that the levels of this test that we're in, and there's either pass or fail, and it's like a very, very difficult exam. It's pass or fail, and to pass it, it's not easy. To fail it is very, very easy. And just the reality hit me like, am I doing enough? No, I'm not doing enough. Can anyone say they're doing enough? Even if you're praying your five daily salah, and you're doing your sadaqah, and you're doing and you're fulfilling your pillars, but are you still doing enough? Because Prophet Muhammad he would make dua so much, and he would ask Allah to save him, and this was someone who's guaranteed Jannah, and he never felt like he'd done enough. So the reminder of death, bro, and that, even if we think that we've got another 50 years in this dunya, you don't know that. You could have another 1 week in this dunya, you could have another 1 month, you could have another day. And that reminder was, like I said, I was very, very grateful, and I went for a long walk afterwards myself, and it shook me up, man. It really, really shook me up. Because you got a question: are you ready? No, I'm not ready. And am I doing enough? I might be in Medina thinking, I'm making steps. Well, alhamdulillah, hopefully I have made good steps in the right direction. But when I get back, am I going to continue making effort? And we're so busy with dunya. We're so busy building things in dunya and striving to become whatever it is in dunya, rich, famous, whatever it is. Like, we're really forgetting our purpose. Like, we need to be building our hereafter. And this is a reminder to myself, first and foremost. Happy and get so satisfied because I've got another success in dunya, or I've had a child, and it's just like, wow, building so much amazing things in dunya. Alhamdulillah, I'm so blessed. But am I blessed? Because if I'm not building hereafter, and I'm not getting a huge amount of reward, I'm not blessed. I'm stupid. And understand that it's so easy to sin, and all these sins that we do build up. And if we're not balancing it out with good deeds, and we're not conscious of that, all these sins, and we're not making tawbah, and we're not repenting, and we're not, you know what I mean? It's just like, what do we expect on that day we're buried? What do we expect on the day of judgment, bruv, when we're handed our book, left or right hand? What do we expect?
It's true that going to the graveyard in Medina has such a big impact on you, and as much as we should visit graveyards here, there's a big difference, because here you might not see a kind of a burial actually taking place, whereas there, like you said, just constantly seeing burials, and it's a Muslim graveyard, and you're seeing it done. Obviously, like, what a beautiful city to die in, Medina, as
absolutely.
Well, which is a privilege in itself.
For sure.
You mentioned that you kind of went on a long walk after that. Did you get, because obviously it was a big group of like 50 people, were you able to get enough time away for your own time to just?
Do you know what? Sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do, and I'm very aware that I'm an adult and I've got to do what I've got to do. So although I wanted to stick with the ruling of the group, well, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And I remember just walked off, and I should have been there until X, Y. I should have been there to meet. Everyone goes back for breakfast, but I thought, all walking back to the hotel, like, you don't get the same reflection if you're sitting there talking about it to you just thinking like, subhanallah, and you're walking back and the sun's coming up and you see just bare people there to worship, and it's just a reminder in itself. Like, we think we're righteous Muslims or whatever, but then the amount of people who are there, like, sacrificing their time and putting so much time into their ibadah, you forget that there's a lot of people who are making a huge amount of effort to strive and gain hereafter. You kind of get complacent a little bit. So yeah, I mean, getting my own time was rare, but the beautiful thing about spending time with brother Nate He's a very quiet brother. He can lock off and do his own thing as well. So even if it's just me and Nate, it was very, very calm, and you could sort of do your own thing. But I mean, got a bit of my own time. But
how did you think Nate found it in your experience? Because obviously you were there with him. I've spoken to him, but I mean, like,
I think he, obvious thing to say, he had an amazing time.
Yeah,
but he
it's hard to read him, right?
Hard to read him, yeah. But I was checking up with him. But obviously, I know I'm a bit of a character to stay with, and I'm sure I'm very annoying. But I know that he had to deal with and also like little rules like you can't come down. Don't come down to the lobby to meet everyone unless you're with your whole group, which is basically whoever's in your room. And when you've got people in your room who maybe don't get as ready as quick as you or aren't as efficient as you, it can be frustrating. So it was obviously, and I'm not complaining about my roommates. Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless them, they're amazing. But like it was always me and Nate waiting in the corridor, ready to go down, like ready.
Nate's very like that.
Of course,
he gets things done, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I know he definitely would have enjoyed it. I think I said to him one time, if you feel like you're just having to sort of go with the group, just go and do your own thing. Go and read in there, and we can meet up in an hour or 2 hours. He did it once or twice, but you do feel like you own that you want to be with people over there because it's such a massive place with so many people. You kind of want to be with people, but if you're not getting the benefits that you want, and you're finding yourself just pleasing the group and doing what the group wants to do, because the group might not always want to do the same things as you, and the group might prefer to go in the shopping mall and look at throbes for 3 hours of the day, where you might just want to go and just lock off and have some time just reflecting and thinking. So he did, alhamdulillah, did it a few times. The danger was we obviously got no signal on your phone, so one time we're like, I'll meet you here, and you go to meet him, and it's just a myth. It's just impossible.
Alhamdulillah, you knew your hotels.
So it was easy. And do you know what? Alhamdulillah, the hotels were so close to the haram and to the masjid, so it was very easy. But ultimately, you don't want to go and do your own thing too much. But there's certain times when you need to do your own thing.
Getting back to work and stuff, like, because obviously you have to. I remember seeing that you're like straight back in the salon the next day or that day or something.
Yeah, the next day. I think I got back on a Sunday morning.
How was that?
What, getting back into work?
You done it enough times, haven't you? Like traveled and come back.
Yeah, but it was different this time, bro. But I only popped in on Monday to get a haircut.
Okay.
And I could see lots of things that need to be done. And I told myself before going in, I'm still tired now. Just allow it and just write a list of things that need to be done. And then on the Tuesday, I was in properly and just composed a massive list. And alhamdulillah, I've got great staff that just do everything. So it was fine. It was fine. It took me a day to get back into normal. And then yesterday I did a big day of cutting. Tuesday I was just catching up, doing meetings and stuff. Then yesterday I did a big day of cutting, and it was fine. It was nice.
I went there once while you were away.
How was it?
It was good. Went to see Midge, got myself a haircut. I think I might have something with him on this Sunday maybe. Now what I do, bro, is when I get my appointment, I just book myself.
You need to anyway. I don't know why you spent so long not doing that.
Yeah, it's very annoying because
really
sometimes I didn't know. Like,
I know, but sometimes you just have to go. Do you know what? I'm always available on a Sunday morning.
That's what I'm saying. I tend to put myself in for Sunday mornings.
Although it's very difficult to get appointments.
It doesn't look like I have put myself in because I would normally put my calendar. So I'll
check for you.
I think that day I was really busy. I had a meeting or something. Yeah, man. So that week, so you gone for 2 weeks.
12 days.
12 days until, but it was as in 2 working weeks.
Yeah.
Monday to Fridays. And so on the first week I was in Istanbul, and then the second week I came back, and my number one priority, bro, was sorting out like this venue stuff for episode 100.
Yep.
So loads I won't tell you off air, but yeah, we viewed venue stuff. We got everything locked down.
Wow. Mashallah.
Everything's like sorted. So that's kind of the next big thing for kind of focusing on.
Yeah, certainly.
And stuff.
I've invited everyone from the Umrah group.
Oh,
inshallah,
really?
Inshallah, a lot of the brothers will come.
Inshallah. Yeah, man, definitely, man. Alhamdulillah, it was good to hear that, akhi, man. Good to hear that. SubhanAllah, man. The Umrah, like going over to Umrah, you realize that there's so many tests and trials even before you go and during your journey.
Yep.
And then, like you're saying, when you come back, you realize that all of it is worth it. And often you also realize why Allah did things in certain ways. Like even when you were telling me the story, you can see little bits as to why like Allah didn't make it that you were gonna come Umrah with us like last year in Ramadan, because that was around the time obviously that your child was being born, but also Allah timed for your son to be born around that time, knowing that we were going Umrah there. Perhaps because then you maybe wouldn't have gone this time around, and perhaps going this time around, even to the point where it would have been better for you, but perhaps going this time around, it would have been amazing for Nate like to have you there, because it sounds a lot to me, even when kind of having talked to Nate about it when he came back, that he felt very grateful to have you there, because he knew obviously you're probably the only person he knew before then, and he knew Solo.
Yeah.
Basically, that Suleiman came with a lot of his friends, and he was kind of busy with them a lot of the time.
He was,
So it was nice for him to have you, and to know Allah used you as a tool to like bring you there for Nate,
and vice versa, man, and vice versa. Yeah, no, for sure. Alhamdulillah, his timing is perfect. Never doubt that. But for sure, for sure. I think, but and say vice versa, it was very, very nice to have Nate there, because his character and his calmness is very beneficial to be around.
Do you know what happened with the whole Yusha situation?
Yeah.
But do you know? But when did you find out? That day he messaged you, because I told him to message you.
Nah, I didn't find out then. I found out at the airport.
Oh really?
Yeah, I found out at the airport.
I knew before then.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, but didn't he tell you why?
Because he didn't get his visa, because he couldn't get the visa sorted out.
No, but did he tell you why I didn't tell you?
No.
So what had happened is, like, on that morning, I found out on the day that you went to get your visa sorted, and he told me, I said, remember we were shooting Fresh Guy?
Yeah.
So we were shooting Fresh Guy, and then he basically asked, I was like, what? I was shocked, because in my head I'm thinking like, that was one of the main reasons we like wanted Nate to go around that time, so that he had his time with Ustad Yusha, But I also, as soon as he told me, I also knew that Allah's done this for a reason, and Allah's timing is best. So I wasn't stressed out, but I couldn't understand why Allah did it. But we can't, because Allah sees the whole picture, we see the pixel in it.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, okay, I'm content with why Allah has done this, but I don't understand it, because for me, in my small mind, it seems like the perfect opportunity for Nate to be 2 weeks with someone who he really looks up to, respects, and who has knowledge on that level.
He's really into him, isn't he?
Yeah, Nate really likes him. He was a big reason as to why he converted as well. And so anyway, I said to him, have you told Sam yet? And he said, no, but I don't want to tell Sam yet, because I know Sam's going to get his visas today. And I don't want, because that day you were under a lot of stress. And so anything could have pushed you on the edge. Do you know what? Not that that's what you're like.
You remember that I was,
you were very stressed. And he didn't want to add to that and say, I'm not going anyway. And for you to maybe think, oh, maybe that's a sign I shouldn't go, whatever.
Yeah.
Not that you're weak, but so then I said, I'll leave it to you to kind of like let him know. Obviously, it's better coming from him. So he said he'll voice note you or something. But maybe he just got really busy. Didn't get onto it.
No, I found out at the airport, and to be honest, I appreciate that. But it would have been. Do you know what? I would have gone to Umrah with anyone. It would be a blessing,
of course.
And that was just like the cherry on top. And the other brothers I went, like I'm in Ram. I learned a lot from Inram. I think he's absolutely fantastic, and that was a massive incentive for me to go. And I just all I wanted, and I spent a bit of time with him, but not enough to have deep conversations with him. For me, just and learning from him and his reminders and small little reminders that the impact. And even when I first became Muslim, I discovered Dawah Man and his Dawah in the street, and I was very, very inspired by it, and I took a lot away from it. And I also made dua that I would be in the company of brothers like that, where I can, because I was so inspired by the passion that these brothers have. So
one other good thing that that we often mention about yourself is that your da'wah is I think you're aware of how you come across and how your da'wah comes across, and it is great for it is very good in the sense it's very direct, and you know, I don't know how to say this in a way without swearing, but you're like very you don't beat around the bush. Which is very important, bro. It's an amazing characteristic to have. And you come across that, but not in a bad way, in a very positive way. Like you don't have time to beat around the bush, and that's very important, bro. And to be around other people like that, and to be, you don't like dancing around a subject.
Sure,
like
for sure. And that's what I found. That's what,
And also
beneficial.
Also, kind of that you can see that in the way when Nate was so close to taking his shahada and you used to speak to him, and when you spoke to him, it would be straight to the point, bro. Forget about like I remember obviously there was the issue with the tattoo, the sleeve and stuff like that, and you would say, take your shahada, don't like, why are you stressing about that? Forget about that, take the shahada kind of thing. And it's important to sometimes hear that, because you know when someone is coming to the deen or who's close to the deen, sometimes everyone is dancing around the subject around them because they want to be very soft and don't want to scare them. But sometimes you need that push that says a bit of a harsh push.
I know that works for me, hearing that harshness, and the reality works for me. The softly catchy monkey thing
is me.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, very soft and in your own time, which is I'm not saying is wrong. Is definitely right for some people, but I think when people have given me those firm, solid, it is what it is, like that has more effect on me. And I still remember the advice I get from certain people when it's just to the point, no nonsense. Like, we haven't really got time to mess around, and we shouldn't mess around with dawah. It's clear cut. We invite to Islam. This is the proof. This is the evidence. Do you want it or not? No, do you know what I mean? And if someone's interested in it, you say, cool. If you know, you know. But people, I mean, so many people who know it's true, who haven't taken shahada, which I find it difficult to swallow. And even people who've taken shahada and then chosen not to practice necessarily. May Allah guide them, no judgment, but it's just like, if you can deny that you're going to die, I can and you can prove evidence that you're not going to die. Okay, I'll come with you. But if you know you're going to die, it's a simple fact. You know there's a creator, because you can sometimes think, right, this whole thing is just too much for me. It's like it's too much. But then you come back to the point. Okay, fine. I'm here and I'm existing in this world. There must be a creator behind it. It must be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sent his messengers. This is the message. There's no nonsense. It is clear cut. So you haven't got time to do anything other than prepare for it. And however, like, not everyone wants to hear it. And even probably people listening to this now think, oh, right, this guy's just a bit over the top talking about death and how, you know, it is, but it's just a reality. And it's not a joke, is it? It really isn't a joke, bruv. So it is clear, straight to the point, man.
No, just because the battery is a bit low, so I don't want it to cut.
Have you stopped it now?
Yes, no, it's back on. Very true, man. I spoke to I was speaking to Abu Bakr Islam actually the other day. Yeah,
MashaAllah.
Obviously, naturally, the conversation went over to death, and
he's a perfect example, bruv. He's clear cut, straight to the point, bruv.
Yeah, we were speaking very briefly on voice notes, and it was nice to hear from him, and we were going back and forth. Yeah, man, very, very nice guy, man. Alhamdulillah. Even when you hear the conversation that I had with Abdul Hakim, that will probably be out next week. Again, bro, it was just like we were talking about Allah so much, and there seems to be this. I don't know. Something seems to be in the air. I think. Do you know what? Naturally, as you get closer to Ramadan, you start thinking more about Allah and stuff like that. Ramadan is so close, bro. Yeah. It's like what around May the 5th it's going to start. Yeah. We're in March now, but we're in March, April, May, 2 months, bro. We'll go like that. But
very quick. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Think about it. 2 months ago was January.
SubhanAllah, yeah. And so, time's moving quick, mate.
Yeah, time's moving quick, man.
It's a reminder in itself.
Yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to Ramadan, inshallah.
Yeah, same. Have you got big plans for it?
Just nothing booked. I know what my personal goals and just what I want to do with it, man. Because I can relate to that, the feeling I've just come from. You get that. You get a feeling of that in Ramadan. Yeah. Take a bit of time off work, loads of late nights, study, learn, get closer. A bit more good deeds, a bit more whatever it is. It just leaves you feeling good, brothers. Ultimately, when you practice the religion correctly, it leaves you in a state of feeling fantastic.
And there's always this like sense of rahmah in Ramadan. Like it feels like you can feel shaitan being locked up, innit?
Yeah, you can. You can feel shaitan, yes, for sure. Locked up. And you can feel that he's not locked up now, mate. I can tell you that.
Yeah, man.
He's a horrible being, isn't he?
You did the same thing that I did. As soon as you touched down, you had to hit the barber chair. Innit?
I've had 2 haircuts since I've been back. Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes very fast on top of that. Yeah.
I need it.
Especially if you have access to it, like you have access to it.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
But I was just surprised that my hairline's just not how it was. Last time I got back, yeah, bruv.
Can I have a look off camera?
Yeah, you can look on camera.
What's wrong with it?
Well, I got Dom to push the shape up even further back, but these areas here, you may not be able to see it now because it's stronger, but I've got
it looks strong to me. It looks strong to me. When I was in Istanbul, I'm sure you saw it as well, but everyone had a hair transplant.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I know people who go there. That's it. You know people who've been there as well, haven't you?
No, do I? Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
tell you fair. Yeah, a lot of people go there.
Yeah.
I can get you a discount if you want.
Can you?
Yeah.
I might have to go there, bro.
Not yet.
Nah, but well, Mitch was saying if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it now.
Mitch said to me as soon as because he gave me my first haircut. He goes, "When are you going to Turkey?" What are you talking about? He goes, "For your hairline." I was like, "You're horrible."
Wow.
Did you say bless him?
Yeah.
No, don't bless him.
He's small, man.
He is small.
But he's bigger than us. Me. He's older than me.
He's older than you.
He's not older than you.
He's older than me.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a little bit older than me, alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
Allahumma barik. Allahumma barik. You're close to 30 now, right?
I'm not embarrassed of it, yeah. This year I'm 30.
This year?
Yeah. What do you expect? I'm a grown man, bruv. Not want to chill use them like you.
I'm 25 now, mate.
Alright, show some respect to your elders, man.
Are you? I'm 25 now. Feels different.
Are you? When was your birthday? What?
Yeah, I was 25 in February. This month. Past month, yeah.
What did you do for it?
We was in Istanbul anyway. Yeah, I didn't do anything. It was a bit more like My wife looks at me. She goes, "You're 25 now," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Alhamdulillah. Another year.
Man. Yeah,
another year
man.
closer to the grave.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. 25 sounds like a solid number though, man. Quarter of a century.
25, yeah. Sounds solid.
It's like 25, 30, 40, 50.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. You know the numbers game. Yeah.
Mm.
We kept the canvas, but this one's been with us since episode 2,
Mashallah.
I think.
Yeah, it was right at the beginning.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
When we had that first one, then it fell.
Did that break it?
Oh, bro, it's so sick that you're here because I'm planning to do this thing. All right, so basically, you know, for Fresh Going to 100, yeah?
I guess I have to do a video of acting now.
No, just a voice.
Please,
just voice.
Please don't give
Not
me
now,
lines and
but just for
things
Fresh,
to do.
just for Fresh Going 100, bro.
You bullied me then into that. You know how we've been doing this for a few years now?
Fresh Going did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember at the beginning?
Now. We're over 2 years
Every time
now.
I saw you, you'd make me do a video
Yeah,
and you'd
yeah.
hand me my lines. I'm so grateful you don't make me do that anymore.
They were really good, though.
Some
People
of them are
loved
okay.
it.
We could do another one. We could do another one at some point, not today. We could do a video.
No, but I'm not talking about that.
What are you talking
what
about?
I'm talking about is nothing video. I'll talk to you about it off camera, but it's for Fresh Going 100. It's not video, don't worry. Bro, I've got big. I can't wait to hear the plans for the episode, man. For the live show. You know, so you know we're gonna have. Do you know what kind of mics we're gonna have?
No, I don't know anything about mics.
We're gonna have like the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and basically, the guy that is, we got a guy coming in specifically to rip the audio straight direct from there, and that's gonna be for the podcast. So we're not gonna have to have these podcast mics.
That sounds very technical. What do you mean rip it? To
Like he's gonna like record it as we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be sat on the side
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Okay.
And so he's the mic guy, but so it's going to be also on thing, but also recorded. Like it's going to come out to the audience and also recorded.
Wow, mashallah.
But bro, do you know how? So with this venue, one thing that I've been trying to explain to people is that the theater, the chairs are stapled
What
in.
time is
Right?
Maghrib, bro?
Maghrib's like 5:30, 5:40. So
I need to put Asr.
yeah, so do I. Yeah, we're good. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, but is that time?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, we're okay, bro.
Yeah, fine.
So what happened is, so the chairs are like, it's actual theatre, so it's not like they're bringing chairs in.
Yeah.
So once 400 chairs get filled, that's it, bro. There's no one we can even do a favour to. Do you know what I mean? Not even like, absolutely no one. There's no one who could be like, bro, like, can you come in and so can I just roll through? And that's what I'm scared about, man, because alhamdulillah, we've booked, I think either exactly or over half the seats are full now. Alhamdulillah. And so there's only...
I keep getting people DMing me screenshots of their purchase of the tickets.
Yeah, same here. So there's literally less than 50%. I don't know how much, because I haven't checked the numbers recently. It could even be that like 80% of the seats are gone. I'm not sure. But I know that definitely half are gone, I'm pretty sure, yeah? But the first like chunk of them, most of them went in the first 2 nights.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
What am I getting at here? I'm getting at that, you know, sometimes last minute people are like, might be like,
Yeah,
oh, but I'm coming down. It's impossible because we can't even fit an extra chair in. There's seats fill up the theatre, then there's balcony seats that fill up that bit. There's no space up there. So, and then there's just the 2 walkways. In the 2 walkways, first we have to keep majority of it clear for health and safety, and secondly, we're gonna have cameramen there. So literally one extra person can't fit in. You just won't possibly be allowed in. It's not possible. So I'm scared for people to like book it late, or for people to be, you know, I've had a lot of brothers who mashallah have been like, oh, bro, I'm gonna be there inshallah, but I'm scared because if once it gets sold out, if they say to me, bro, can I come through, it's literally impossible. Do you know what I mean? It's impossible. So that's what I'm scared about. But I'm going to write a list down of a few people who we're going to keep the seats clear for, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to like make sure that my, like, I'm going to try and, I don't know if my dad would come down, but I'm going to try and see, like, get my brother, obviously my brother will be there, inshallah, and a few other people. So, yeah. Let me know who's coming down as well.
Inshallah. They can get tickets. Is what it is.
Have you seen the bands? I'm going to show you inside.
Was there a band playing?
No, the bands.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. I've
But
seen
you
nothing. You haven't told me nothing.
Have you seen it online? You
Yeah,
haven't seen them?
seen them.
Oh, you saw them online.
No, I haven't seen them. What are they? Bands? Wristbands?
Like, you know when you go to a
Yeah. What?
event?
Yeah. I haven't
You
seen
get
them.
bands.
You have to
Bands.
fill me in. I've been away. You've obviously been busy.
What we'll actually do is maybe cut it a bit early, because then I also want you to get home on time. So we'll cut it a bit early so we get 10 minutes to have a chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main reason for this podcast episode was so that we can have a discussion about your reflections on Umrah. And I'm sure that as the weeks come, you'll learn more. Like you'll just start speaking about things more.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something
sure,
reminds
sure,
you.
sure.
So alhamdulillah, bro, it's amazing that you had a good time. I'm so happy that kind of you were able to take that time away for it. It's also great for you to be back, man, because everyone's like, oh, when's Sam back? When's Sam back? When's Sam back? And I've been saying to everyone recently who's been saying to me, I've been like, he's back now. Like, because before it was a situation where people would say, when's Sam back? And I'd be like, I'm gonna speak to him.
Yeah,
but now it's like, alhamdulillah, I can be like, he's back. Don't worry, he's back. I spoke to someone today. They were like, when's Sam back? I said today.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, you're back. And yeah, man.
Back from Umrah or back on the podcast?
Back to F.G.
I've done quite a few since we've
I
been
know,
back.
but people have been like,
People have missed them or something.
I don't know.
There's been a couple.
There has been a few. But alhamdulillah, man, look, we're over 2 years in, man.
I know, it's a
and
long
so
time.
inshallah, we're gonna keep it going, man.
Inshallah.
Only big on better things. Yeah, man.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Big man Sam.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I was going to say also, if people are really, I've said it before, people should make intention to do Umrah and Hajj. First and foremost, Hajj, as it's as a pillar. That's a reminder to myself as well. But also Umrah, it's worth the investment, man. It's in the scale of things, it's a small amount of money for a huge reward. Inshallah, it's amazing. 5-star Umrah is who I went with, and they were amazing. I recommend them highly.
I heard a few people say they were
amazing, bro. Amazing. Go on there. The Instagram is 5-star Umrah, and highly recommend them. If not them, and there's a few good groups out there, mashallah. But make sure you got a good
Sunnah trips.
Sunnah trips.
Yeah.
I think they've got similar kind of people out there leading, showing you around, etc. Make sure you've got some good leaders in your group who are upon Quran and Sunnah that can teach you and show you the things that you need to be shown and taught. But yeah, get out there. It's the best investment ever, inshallah.
Inshallah. Guys, this is Freshly Grounded. He was a big man Sam.
He was just a phase.
We'll see you guys soon. Bye.